All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
What is going on? And happy, what do they call this day? Like the first or second week in February on a Sunday. What do they call that?
Super Bowl,
oh, yeah.
Here, baby. Let's go.
It's the Super Bowl.
Yes,
how awesome that is. What's up, everybody? It is the Touchdown Crew coming to you live from a remote location where party's happening tonight. Not exactly anybody really cares about this game. Let's put it that way. I mean, let's face it. Unless you're living in Ohio, nobody cares because nobody in LA is talking about it. Nobody cares. They all want to watch LeBron. Let's watch LeBron drop some points. Oh, but wait a minute. We got a team in the Super Bowl. So what? Lakers are going to the NBA Finals. You got the LA Kings going to go to the Stanley Cup playoffs. We got the L.A., Anaheim, Brentwood City, Beverly Hills Angels going to the World Series. L.A. Rams. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But people in Cincinnati are buzzing. You know why they're buzzing? Because Cincinnati is in the Super Bowl for the first time in 30 years? 30 years, dude. You can't go ahead and deny that. They're excited over there. They're pumped. You want to know why they're pumped? It's because they got two, not one, two people that they've gotten in the first round the last 2 years. You realize how young this team is and how much talent they already have? We didn't think Burrow was going to do this. What the hell's going on? Somebody check this guy for steroids. Joe Burrow? Are you kidding me? You missed half the season last year. You were out. You looked horrible. Oh, but wait a minute. Maybe if we got Jamar Chase, get a little LSU elbows rubbing against each other. Maybe if we do that and we rub the genie's lamp, maybe we get a Super Bowl bid. Who knew? I mean, Coach, does Cincinnati know something we don't?
No, I mean, they went against the grain. Because everybody was saying lineman, pick a lineman, pick a lineman, pick a lineman, pick a lineman. And I guess they said this is a generational, this is his friend. I'm comfortable with him. We understand each other. Because you got to realize, I mean, they spent 3 years. Now it's going on, 5 years together, knowing each other, hanging out with each other, throwing footballs with each other. So they understand and know they can read each other by just looking at each other. So that's the advantage that you have instead of picking the O-lineman. You got a skill guy that makes you better, that you can, even though your O-line is weak, you can still, regardless of the situation, you can throw it out there quick, and he can make one person miss.
Yep. So, and see, that is one of the maybe very small weak points that the Cincinnati Bengals have is their offensive line, and that's where the Rams could generate some problems. They got a very good defensive front. And they could generate some problems with Burrow. So I'd really like to go ahead and get the rest of the gang in here, but what are your thoughts in regards to how Cincinnati handles the Rams pass rush? And does Joe Burrow fall to the fate of Tom Brady in those Giant games?
Honestly, two things you got to do. First thing, you got to pound it. You got to just run. Look, don't run a toss. You just got to run right at them and just be physical.
Yeah.
You got to set, the O-line has to set a dominance and the presence, like, hey, we're here. Second thing that you need to do, let's run screens. Let's run little jets, jet motion, hand the ball off like that. Like, you have to make this O-line, this D-line go left to right. You can't get in the 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, because then they already know what you're about to do. Because you're about to throw the football. And that'll put you in a bind because with your O line, with your tight end. He's semi hurt. He has to probably stay in the block. Running back has to stay in the block. So now you're talking about you're going to have what, 3 guys on in routes. It all could be double team, triple team, but they have to set a presence. I have to run straight at them. Don't try to run a toss. Don't run the outside zone, because if you run the outside zone, they're fast and they're going to kill it. But it seems like that you run right at them, because then now guess what happens? I can put 2 guys on Aaron Donald. I can probably hit him a little bit. At least I know I get 2 or 3 yards, because now I'm just going head up with that linebacker. I mean, that's the only way you can do it. But if you try to get cute, it's going to be a long night for Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so basically what the Bengals need to do is they need to go ahead and be physical up front. They may not have the greatest blocking schemes or the greatest linemen to go ahead and pass block, but run block is usually a little bit more easier to do than pass blocking. Just got to know where your lanes are. That's it. Pass blocking, listen, if you're not talented up front, they're just going to run by you, and Burrow's going to have less than 2 seconds to throw the ball, and that's not going to get anybody open. I'm sorry, unless you're prepared for that rush, prepared for those get those screens going. It's not working. And the Jamar Chase going deep, that you're going to need at least 3 to 4 seconds to throw the ball to get his ass down there.
Because here's the thing. Take what team did the Rams struggle with all year? 49ers.
Yeah.
49ers didn't do nothing fancy.
They don't. They just ground and pound.
They just ran right at you over and over and over again. And that's the key. When you play them, you have to run at them, and you have to be physical, and you have to rotate your backs, and they have to give a heavy dose to say, hey, we're going to run this ball 25 times a game.
Right.
At them.
We are the Touchdown Crew. It's Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles, up there in SoFi Stadium. It is the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, who are the home team. I mean, Cincinnati going to Los Angeles to face the Los Angeles Rams, but Cincinnati is the home team. How is that?
Happens like this. What happened like the past 2 years? Let me ask you, Charles. Do you really?
No, I think the Bucs are the home team last year.
Yeah, that's what I said. The last 2 years.
Good.
Let me ask you this: do you really think it makes a difference? Because if you think about it, it's not a fans game. Only thing is that's different is they get probably. I think they doubt you get to sleep in your own bed. But other than that, it's not a home game, because you pay tickets for $5,000. That's at the top.
Listen, I made the joke on Facebook Live when I was prepping, while I was going ahead and promoting the show, and I'm thinking it's a home game for the Bengals, because nobody bought tickets for the Rams, so they're taking all 80,000 residents in Cincinnati and they're flying them over there. And they're going to get first pick of the city, and then any leftovers, maybe the stars, the Hollywood stars, will buy some tickets and they'll show up and they'll wave the little flag and stuff like that and get on camera. But it's not. The Chargers proved this. Now I know the Chargers and the Rams are two. But the Chargers are up and coming. They have their own thing. The Rams pretty much bought their way into the Super Bowl. They really did. You go ahead and get all these free agents in there. You didn't do anything by natural talent or through the draft. Cincinnati did. So Cincinnati's got all that chemistry together. They have Jamar Chase and Burrow, who know each other. You know what? I'm just saying, it's like they did it on their own. They didn't need Croak, Key to go ahead and buy them anything. They didn't need to go out and get OBJ. They didn't need to go and get Von Miller. They need to go and get that. No, and they beat the best of the best. The best of the best. You beat the Chiefs. You beat the Titans. You mean to tell me you're going to put the Chiefs over the Rams? You play the Chiefs at home, where there was 85,000 people that actually give a shit about your team. And excuse my language, I apologize. But you're playing in Kansas City where they actually care. They're over there like, oh. They care about their team. They make noise. Rams don't make noise. They don't make noise at all. I mean, you barely get a squirrel fart out of those people in LA. So it makes sense that when game time comes, 6 o'clock tonight, 6:30, when kickoff is about to ready to roll. After they do the national anthem, that'll last like 75 minutes. After they go ahead and do that, they'll go ahead and you'll see a lot of orange, a lot of black, maybe a lot of white and black. But definitely you're going to have those Bengal stripes going all throughout the stadium. It's going to be a beautiful sight.
Oh, of course. Of course. Especially, it's crazy down here in Texas, which Texas has this thing, especially we represent anybody from the South. So technically Joe Burrow is like, he came out of Louisiana, so he's like considered a Southern. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how. But everybody down here buying Burrow jerseys.
Read Randy. Blowout City happening today. Cinderella story. Gee, I wonder who Randy is rooting for.
Yes, sir. We'll talk about that later.
So, Randy, what I need you to do, because since you're not going to be able to get on, I don't think, what I need you to do is I do need you to interact with me on Facebook. We're going to do prop bets. We're going to ask everybody. So when Mike comes on, we'll start prop betting and all this other stuff. And I have another thing as well.
I know Randy.
Yeah,
I know he came out of
Ohio.
I know he came out of Ohio, but he went to LSU. He won a national championship at LSU. So the thing about it is we represent, because if you listen to people, a lot, especially out of Louisiana, they swear he was born and raised in Louisiana because he won that national championship. Randy. So I know he came out of Ohio, sir.
Randy, I think, is being a little bit. I think he's being a little bit too cocky right now. See, Randy thinks, he knows what's going on because he's a Memphis Grizzly fan. And, he's got to check himself there. Honestly, listen, I'll be honest with you. We go ahead and we talk about the Rams and their high-powered offense, which, listen, let's not kid ourselves. They have an explosive array of receivers. Stafford is what he is. He's been shown that he's able to go ahead and come through. But let's take a look here. Who, I'm not saying everybody, but who in our show has said, don't trust Stafford. He will blow it. And now you're putting him into the biggest game he's ever played in front of all the cameras, in front of all the lights. Snoop is probably going to smoke something with him to get him just a little bit relaxed, if you know what I mean. Maybe too relaxed. Maybe relaxed enough where he throws a ball to the other team. Just saying, who's been the one guy on our show that's saying, don't trust Stafford?
Well,
who was the one guy that actually went with Stafford when it was the Bucs?
You did.
But now I'm saying the Bengals are the team that will hoist the Lombardi Trophy for the first time in their franchise history.
So you going straight out saying that the Bengals going to win?
I will. I will get to the scores here later, but
why?
Scores are going to come down to it as well.
Why?
See, I think the Bengals have a good offense. More importantly, though, I think they have enough of a defense to slow down the Rams. And I think one game that they should watch on that one game is the Bucs. Everything in that second half they need to watch, because that's how you stop them. And I think the Bengals have enough talent, or maybe even more talent than the Tampa Bay defense, to go ahead and make that happen.
No, sir.
Go ahead. Go.
No,
Go ahead. This is why we go ahead and debate. Go ahead.
After sitting here and after watching it and looking at it, and let's say NFC, AFC. I'm gonna break it into divisions. AFC, if you look at the AFC is more about the quarterbacks and the offense. They have the star power at quarterbacks. The NFC, they got old quarterbacks and they're about defense. You look at the Bucs, number one defense against the rush. You look at
wait a second. I got to address this, Randy. Again, you want to make comments. You made comments during the Buck game. Guess who went ahead was the only one to go outside? Okay, you go ahead and talk all that you want. I've had it before, and I was proven right. So let's see what happens at about 10 p.m., 10:30, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Let's see who's standing at the podium with the confetti. Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you, but I had to address it.
So let's break it down like this. We'll start with the quarterbacks.
Let's do it.
Who do you pick? Joe or Matthew or Stafford?
Are we talking about with the weapons that they have, or just talent in general?
Just the quarterback position. Who you think is going to make the right decisions under the pressure?
Burrow. I like Burrow.
I agree with you. I really think Burrow he's going to make better decisions. Because one thing about Matthew Stafford, he can't throw the deep ball worth crap.
No, that's why he needs all the players he has, so they can go ahead and adjust and get under the ball, because every time he throws the deep ball, Kupp and OBJ are saying, "Oh shit, he did it again," and they have to go ahead and make adjustments.
Now,
I will give you one time. I will give you one thing. That deep ball he went ahead and threw against the Bucs to clinch the game. That was perfect.
That was perfect. That was wide open. But he almost blew it against the 49ers, and he blew it. He blew it against the 49ers in the last game of the season. He couldn't throw it deep.
That's what I'm saying. It's like now the games are getting tougher and tougher.
So so we all agree to Cincinnati. Now, next thing, running backs.
See, I'm a Sony guy. I love Sony Michel. I don't think they're going to make him the lead back though. I like Mixon. I really do. But the thing is, what line is going to block for Mixon? Are they going to be able to sustain those holds for Mixon? I think Mixon will go ahead and get the extra yard or two, same like Henderson. I think I'd give it a push on those two.
I like the Rams. Sonny Michel, you got a veteran. Because one thing about it is you got a veteran who played in the Super Bowl. I don't know. He played a couple Super Bowls with the Bucs.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's got experience. Yeah.
Well, he has the experience. So that's one thing. One thing the offense can kind of lean on, because he has the experience and he kind of understands everything. So I'm leaning towards the Rams in that aspect, because one thing about the Rams, they're going to try to run the football. They're going to try to run the football.
But see, here's the thing I disagree with. Well, they're definitely going to try to run the football. Don't get me wrong. But I think Sony's not going to be there. You know why? McVay still has a chip on his shoulder. Michelle is the only one to get a touchdown in that Super Bowl the Rams lost. So it's like, how dare you beat you?
You don't care about that.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
And Sony is going to go through out. Now, okay. So now we're gonna. I combine receivers. I don't like. You got to combine receivers and DBs together, because if you really look at the receiver corps, I mean, it's pretty much what's your preference. Honestly, I mean, the Rams have two good receivers. The Bengals, they have 2.5. I mean, I'm not going to argue and debate with nobody about it. They got 2.5. So, but
that's why I think it's going to be a good game. I really do. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a real good game. But on the receiving end, I would have to say, for experience-wise, you got to go with the Rams. You got to go. You got to give Kupp. You got to give OBJ their due. OBJ has been always ready to break out. He's finally got a system where he's able to break out. Cooper Kupp has already proven to be an explosive receiver. So you got not one but two very, very dangerous threats.
Yes, because you can't. Because if you go back, and that's why I said it's all about defense in the NFC than it is compared to the offense. One thing about it, you go back to the Kansas City game, Kansas City versus the Bengals, they pretty much kind of shut down to a degree Hilton. But everybody know what Tyreek's run. He runs drags across the middle. He runs deep post. He might run a hitch and curl every once in a while. What is Cooper Kupp's signature route? Whatever's open. Because Sucker runs everything. He runs great routes. So now it's like, okay, are you going to man him? But no. That's the question.
I don't think you can. I think you're going to have to play like 80% zone. Maybe throw a man in there just to kind of mess him up.
And then now that you look at it and you sit there and you say, okay, I'm gonna play a zone. So now how many people are gonna keep in the box? Now you have a 6-man box, possibly 7-man box. So now there goes the running game. That's gonna be the matchup for Cincinnati's defense. Can you stop the run not to get in a man coverage all the time. Because now when you get in that man coverage, now you're saying Cooper Kupp, he's gonna double move you.
So let me ask you this, Coach. It sounds like it's not even coming down to players anymore. I mean, of course it's players, but it does sound like it's going to come down to strategy.
Yeah,
it's going to come down to the coaches. It's going to come down to the coordinators of what they call.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. You were saying I got to check something out real quick.
Hey, to me, when we look at this game, we already know what the Rams have up front. A tremendous, a phenomenal D line that all they want to do is bring pain. But now you have to look at it. The one thing about Cincinnati, they are a second half team. They don't make adjustments in the first half. I'm thinking you can't give the Rams 9-10 sacks. Second, you have to.
I mean, not even half that.
Yes, and Jamar Chase can't line up on the outside. You have to put him in slot. You have to motion him. If you keep him on the outside, guess what? He will not touch the ball. He will not touch the ball the entire first half. They have to put him at the slot. They have to put him in motion because once you put him in the middle of the field, you can't. It's hard to double team. It's hard to double team a guy in the middle of the field, and it's hard for Jalen Ramsey if he's going to guard him to stay with him when he goes in motion because they're going to check. Everybody's going to slide, rotate over, and everything else. Those are the games it's going to play. For McVay, can he keep it simple and just watch the reads, take what they give him, not try to throw the ball?
But do you think he's going to do that? Because he likes to go for the home run a lot.
I think he is, just for the simple fact about it. He learned from the last Super Bowl. That's when their experience comes in. You got, I can't even think of the Bengals head coach name. He has to make adjustments throughout the game.
Zach Taylor.
Yeah, Zach Taylor has to make it. If you don't make adjustments throughout the game, like first quarter, second quarter, because I guarantee you, emotion is going to be high. Everybody's going to be fired up. Don't try to do nothing trickery the first two drives. Because if you take too long back there trying to throw it deep, that D-line is going to put a lot of pressure. And it's not just because the issue with the Rams, I'm saying the issue with the Bengals O-line, the Rams don't line up in the same spot. You see Darnold at D end, you see him at D tackle, you see him on the other end. Like they move around. They try to find the weakest link. And one thing about it is that left guard, I think he's injured because they've been replacing him like crazy.
So let's talk this real quickly. Sean McVay for the Rams, 38 years old.
Yes.
Zach Taylor, 36. Both coaches under 40. When was the last time we ever saw anything like this? Well, two young coaches going on. You're talking about the Harbaughs? Maybe I think they're above 40 though.
I think that's that new age. When you look at quarterback play, because 707 has took over nowadays, like you see 707 at 12, 13 years old. So they've been throwing the football, looking at all different coverages since 12, 13 years old. Now, even if you look at the coaches, I think it's the old heads is finally it's getting ready to see a change. Because if you don't, you got to adjust. And one thing
are the days of being Marv Levy at 80 years old gone?
Yes, I truly believe it. And like if you think about it, let's look at the playoffs. You take Bill, you take not Parcells, God dang, Andy Reid. You take Bill, Andy Reid, and Bruce.
Can you imagine giving Parcells that little Fu Manchu thing going on there with Andy Reid? Can you imagine Parcells wearing that? He'd never get the end of it. No way.
But a lot of the coaches are young. Shanahan, he's young.
Yeah. Well, but you're right. I think, now that we've seen, listen, and no offense, Tom Brady rode off into the sunset. He's got 7 Super Bowls. Regardless if he comes back at 50 like Gronk thinks he's going to. I think Gronk was talking after he drank too many cocktails on that show. But we take a look. Brady's not in. Mahomes is not in it. We're getting fresh blood now. Regardless, yes, the Rams with Matthew Stafford. Matthew's been around a long time, but he's never gotten this opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's really, a lot of people will say nobody cares about the Super Bowl. I think they should. because these are teams that nobody really thought of to make it, and now they're in it.
Well,
Especially for the underdog Cinderella, like Randy wants to say. The Bengals. Like here's the matchup. The matchup for him, he says, is the D line against the Rams against the offensive line of the Bengals. That's true. Bengals have a lot to prove. They are very, very questionable against the D line. So if they win the line of scrimmage battle up front early, look for the Bengals to take the high road here. Damian says the Rams actually have a healthy Cam Akers back. So let's look at that real quickly and compare it to the Titans. The Titans got Derrick Henry back, but they didn't utilize him properly. Is that going to be the same thing with Cam Akers?
Oh no, but you got to realize they got 2 weeks off. Like he played every game, so and he got 2 weeks off before the Super Bowl. So it's not like he's good now. I think I just really think I don't like we can't compare the Titans to the Rams because the quarterback and everything.
No, not straight up. I'm talking about situational.
Yes, I think if you look at it as that, and then you look at both of them, Kansas City, you look at Kansas City and you look at Tennessee, they both was able to run the football on them. Now, let's take the Rams. Rams has a better O-line running wise compared to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll definitely give you that. So I think the running game is going to be crucial because if you, as the Rams, if you could set up that running game, the play action and the deep passes is going to be heartbreaking for Cincinnati. It's going to be heartbreaking.
Whoever run game is working has the advantage because if the Rams run game is working, that means you have to jump into a man or you have to bring a zone blitz. You jump into a man, Cooper Kupp is going to eat. You don't want to jump into a man, but it's vice versa. If you jump into a man and you have to bring an extra person, then guess what? One of the receivers from the Bengals is going to eat. It's not going to be Jamar Chase, but it's going to be one of them. One of them has to eat.
They're going to focus on it, but I'm taking a look at what the Bills did with McKenzie. McKenzie, nobody thought of. Nobody really cared about McKenzie. He burned everybody that just let him go. So I'm thinking Bengals got to have one of those jokers in the hole. They got to have somebody out there that's just willing to and want to make their statement tonight. And I don't know who that could be, but it could be anybody. Somebody's got to show up in practice hungry. Besides, the obvious.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's like I said, it's going to be a good game. It really is. It's going to be a good game. The defense for the Rams, I think, is definitely there. But I think the Bengals have enough. It's just what are they going to do? How are they going to execute it? How are they going to execute against all these weapons? The run game, it's going to be a chess match. Two young coaches, younger than me, going to go ahead and do a chess match. I'm 44 and I'm over here thinking it's like 44 is like, that's a young age for an NFL head coach. Nah, screw that. 38, 36 in the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the coaches are going to have fun with it. I really do. I think they're going to let loose because come on now. Well, McVay's got the experience there. He's been to one already, but he knows what happened when he tried to have fun. He only scored 3 points. So hopefully he learns a little bit off that. But at the same time, we got Zach over there on the Bengals side. Never been. This is only his third year in coaching, head coach. Only his third year.
Hey, but to that Super Bowl, I will say this: you didn't have Cooper Kupp because he was hurt that year, so you lost. You didn't have your receiver.
You had Brandon Cooks.
You had Brandon Cooks, but he's just a vertical threat. But losing Cooper Kupp was a big issue, and plus, I mean, that's why you made the trade for Matthew. That's why you went and got Stafford.
Because let's put it this way: Stafford, as bad as he throws that deep ball, let's rewind to Super Bowl 53. That ball that traveled to a wide open receiver in the end zone, ran down by the Patriots safety, Stafford ain't waiting that long. Stafford would have gotten there way before the safety even thought about it.
Yeah, of course. So let me ask you this, and it's kind of not necessarily off subject. You look at the two teams, like and you said it at the very beginning. You take Cincinnati. Cincinnati they did their thing through the draft. They went against the grain. They actually, if you really think about it, Cincinnati was playing. They was treating like they was playing Madden. They didn't go the traditional route. They went, hey, I'm gonna get the receiver. Screw the O-line, which everybody was saying how stupid it was. But then, I didn't say it was stupid. I always say get the skill guy. You could always get a lineman. But then if you flip it to the other side, and you look how Rams did it. They did it more like business. That they said, you know what? Why waste or why do all this studying on trying to get a first round pick and you playing the guessing game when we know we got a proven guy that's already in the league?
Well, see okay. So yes, I get it. The guessing game, the draft is never guaranteed. No matter what and we've seen it. First picks in the draft have been busts, major busts. You're spending all that time, all that energy trying to recruit this person or trying to go ahead and judge them to make sure that number one pick is good. Okay, yeah, they went through the draft. The Bengals, we can go ahead and say got lucky. We can say they got lucky, but I also think they drafted correctly. Now I would rather have, honest to God, I'd rather have a rookie wide receiver who's got a ton of potential, ton of talent, versus having a rookie lineman who could be raw and still develop nicely, but he's not going to give me that I need to win now mentality.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's not. You have maybe one or two of those in the draft, but not all the time. I'd go free agency for that.
Yeah.
I would have somebody that, knows what the hell they're doing, that we've seen, that has a proven record. But if you want to go ahead and win now type mentality, free agency is where to go. Bengals, though, have talent, quarterback and receiver, which is always crucial. And they did that in the draft.
But do you don't think they're both in the same window? Because if you really look at it, they made the trade. Matthew Stafford has probably 4 or 5 more years. Cooper Kupp has 6. Cooper Kupp, I don't know how old he is, but I'm gonna say he got 8 more years. Odell Beckham, he still got 4 or 5 more years. Jalen Ramsey still got 4 or 5 more years. Aaron Donald still has 4 or 5 more years. So you look at
Kupp's 28.
Huh?
Kupp is 28. He may have 7 years.
Yeah, he might have 7. So look at it. The window's still the same for both teams because you take Cincinnati, they got 3 more years because they're gonna have to pay all the receivers.
Here's the thing. Cincinnati's paying 2 people on a rookie contract. They ain't paying that much. Cooper Kupp is going to ask for a boatload of money. Stafford's going to ask for a boatload of money. OBJ's going to ask for a boatload of money.
No, OBJ already said he'd take a pay cut.
Okay, but he ain't paying for peanuts.
Man,
pay cut in that case is taking $20 million and maybe taking 18. He's not going down to I'm going to take the minimum. Let's put it that way.
So I'm just. They got through. I think both ways you done it. They did it. I think you still have 3 or 4 years max for both teams. Just for the simple fact
as long as you can keep everybody under the cap.
You think Cincy can?
Yes. Because they have the ability. They've already had two main cats that you have to get in and have a winning football team because it's offense now. Defense, yeah, you can work around. But they already have the 2. And you got a couple of years before you have to start paying them out. You can get some more people on the other side of the ball, maybe a lineman, maybe a cornerback, maybe a safety, to go ahead and solidify it.
Because we'll probably talk about this more in 2 weeks.
Probably in the offseason, yeah.
Yeah, in the offseason. But the linemen are going to be expensive because it is a must need for everybody.
We can't look at it, though. We can't look at it right now. Here's why. Because the cap changes. And especially now that everything is going back to wide open. I mean, all the stadiums were 100% this year. Cap's already going to go up next year. Imagine with the NFL Sunday ticket deal that might be happening with Disney or Amazon or whoever. Imagine that income and that revenue. That's going to increase the cap even more.
No,
so
the cap's going up. I think we talked about it. I want to say 20.
Well, for next year. But I'm talking about there's still a deal in the works that the NFL ticket may be going away from DirecTV, and somebody's going to offer another boatload and a half of money to the NFL.
I mean, and I think, but that works for who though? Because you have to realize, I don't know. Cooper Kupp already signed his deal. I don't know how many years he got left on his contract. Like all their big name guys, they signed their deals. So now you're going to rely on the second, third, and fourth round. Because and you think about it, Charles, who did the Jaguars draft? You can't name
Look at the Jaguars, though. Let's look at the Jaguars.
But and I'm gonna say the same thing.
No. Let's look at the Jaguars. Wait a second. Let's look at the Jaguars. You have a head coach in strip bars. You have somebody who's basically choking out his own team, his own players. No, it is a disaster there.
You're right.
Bad example.
It ain't even about them. I love what the Rams did. Again, it's like they playing a video game. They just said, forget it. This is how we gonna roll. Look, we ain't got time to develop these young cats. Let's go ahead and get these Hall of Fame future. Let's get the number one corner in the game. Let's get a top 10 quarterback, Matthew Stafford, and let's just go. And they're doing that thing. And then they got OBJ. Hey, OBJ, he's this. He's terrible. He's attitude. He's a cancer. Okay, well, look, we'll feed him a little bit, make him feel good about himself, and you win games. Everybody knows, man, winning cures everything, no matter what. But I honestly, I was just curious about it. But I've been leaning towards the Rams because even though I'm an offensive guy, I truly, truly believe that defense win games. Because if you go back to the last 4 or 5 Super Bowls, last year it wasn't Brady, it was the Bucs defense. The year before that, it was the Kansas City defense that made plays at the end and get the stops. And then you go back, it was the Rams versus the Patriots. It was the Patriots defense that won. So defense have to make plays. And so that's one of the things. And I think somebody commented, Damien.
Question, I was about ready to get to that. Ready to get to that question. So Tyler Higbee, he's out for this game. How do you think that affects the Rams? Does it affect them at all?
I don't think so. I think old boy held his own. He held his own against the Bucs. Because that's when he got hurt. He did. Old boy did. I can't think of his name right now. He did a great job. He blocked, and that's one of the things. I think he's a better blocking tight end compared to Tyler Higbee. He's more, and I think that's what they need. They need someone to block and everything else. Hey,
look who decided to join the show. It's Mike.
Oh, I told you.
I know. We're just busting your chops. So, hey, Mike, I'm not sure if you realized, but there's a thing that's happening today called the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if you realized that. Yeah, we were talking about, UCLA, exactly. They're going to play in the Super Bowl. UCLA against USC.
My only LA stuff I got.
Oh, trust me. I don't even think Rams fans have anything Rams apparel.
They don't.
So let's put that.
They don't. I promise you, they just bought a hat this morning. Freddie Henderson definitely did, Coach.
We're not going there. We're not talking about the defending Jeopardy champion here on the Touchdown Crew. Talking about Coach, sporting
Coach
Rams apparel.
Coach hurt. It's too fresh.
It's too soon. I know.
Too soon.
All right. Anyway, so we're talking real quickly. Let's get your take on the Rams and Bengals. We're talking about the Bengals offense and what they got, the Rams offense and what they got. Is there a defense on either side that could slow down the other?
Yeah. And we had the honor at the ASAP Network to talk to a bunch of guys during the Super Bowl this week. I talked to the defensive coordinator, Lou. I just call him Coach Lou. I have a hard time saying his last name. It's nothing but love, though. It comes down to it though, to where I was talking to him and we had a conversation during the Super Bowl media press, and I said it straight up. What we've been talking about this entire time is, having veterans and having all these free agent additions, did that help, when it comes down to continuing to make adjustments, continuing to make, discipline and helping with all of that. And he said it did. He said it was a big part of, what they're doing right now, having Mike Hilton and as stupid as it sounds, having Eli Apple and a bunch of other free agents, that are veterans, that are playoff proven guys. And on top of having Bates and all of the Brates, pardon me, and all of the young guys they have on this defense, it really speaks volumes to what they're doing. And I think a big part of what's going to help them today, especially, and Coach being a wide receiver, I feel like he can attest to it. When you have a big three like this, and honestly, it could be a big four if Woods was playing. They're lucky he's not. But Jefferson, Odell, and Kupp, having those guys out there, the perfect matchup actually is the Bengals, because all year long in practice, they've been practicing against Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Boyd. And that's really, that's a big three in its own regard, in its own respect. I'm not going to say it's close to Odell and Kupp, but it's definitely up there, and it's definitely something to where you got to prepare for that. So I think, if they're smart about it, I think they do the two high safeties. You try to take Odell out of the game, and that's, or even Kupp. You try to do that. You try to apply pressure and do the two high safeties. And that's definitely the way I would approach it. I think the Bengals defense is surprisingly going to outperform against the Rams today. But I do think the X factors of the game, to me, we know T. Higgins is going to be out. If I'm not mistaken, that hasn't changed. And that's really unfortunate because I love T, but not T. Higgins.
Higgins out.
Higgins is out, but it's not T.
Yeah,
it's the other Tyler. I forget his name, but the tight end of the Rams, and I think that's going to speak volumes to what they're doing.
Higbee.
Higbee. You talking about Higbee?
Yeah, I don't know why I said Higgins, but it's something to where I think the X factors of this game is actually going to be Joe Mixon and Cam Akers. How far can they take you? And that's something to where I think it's going to be a lot easier, obviously, for Cam Akers, because Aaron Donald's only gonna let Joe Mixon go for so long. But I think that's what it's really gonna come down to, because like we've seen a few Super Bowls in the last few years where it's supposed to be an air and water show, and it's not. You know what I mean? Like the 49ers versus Mahomes, like that was supposed to be a huge air and water show, and it really wasn't until the second half. And that's really what it comes down to, is who can remain the most disciplined and have the best strategy. So I'm rooting for the Rams, just because, I love Stafford. That's my guy. But I've said it all year, and I'm going to be honest, Coach was there with me. I was wrong about Green Bay. I had Green Bay coming out of the NFC, and I'll own that. But I had the Bengals going to the Super Bowl the entire time. And it comes down to it to where it's like, the only time I questioned them was when they played Patrick Mahomes. And I said it to you guys, if they can beat the Chiefs, they can beat anybody. And they did it. And so it comes down to it is just about discipline. You got some young cats. Can they, handle that pressure? Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, all these other guys are there. If I'm there at that Super Bowl, dude, my head's spinning. I got a million different things going on. You just got to see if these young guys can hang with guys like Odell, guys like Donald, who's been there. A lot of this Rams team has been in the Super Bowl before. Let's not be fooled. This is not their first time going. Stafford's really the only one. Stafford and Odell are really the only ones newcomers that don't have Super Bowl experience. Even Von Miller does. So I think the Rams have an edge just because of that experience alone.
Von's got a Super Bowl ring. Screw experience. He's got a Super Bowl ring.
He's got the Super Bowl MVP. He's got everything.
Yeah. So if there's going to be any leadership there, Von's going to bring it.
Yeah.
You know that. So, but on the Bengals side, who's been there?
Right. And you really that's the big thing, though, is I feel like this is a very playoff experienced team. Coach and I actually spoke about it, not to tie it into basketball, but Chris Paul. Chris Paul was great for the Suns because he's playoff experienced. Once he got to the finals, you saw those jitters because he had never been there before. So all these guys who have playoff experience, they really don't know like how to act about it. They don't really know, what the Super Bowl really feels like. And some of them have been, and very few of them do, though. And very few of them have an important role to this defense. So I'm really looking at it like that. And you just kind of got to understand the biggest one to me, it's not Joe Mixon. It's not Joe Burrow. It's not Jamar Chase, especially Joey B and Jamar. They've won a championship before, very recently too. And it's like, I know it's not the Super Bowl, but they understand that pressure. LSU had a lot of pressure. My biggest one is Zach Taylor. How is Zach Taylor going to perform? Because we know Zach's been on the hot seat in recent years. So to be in the Super Bowl, I'm curious to see how he continues to just roll with this team. Is he going to make them air it out, or is he going to stay pat and kind of just control the clock?
Can't.
So I got Yuki on here say they got the Bengals winning, and also the Bengals try to put 2 defensive backs, Coop and OBJ. Van Jefferson's going to be left wide open. Do you guys agree?
You got to leave somebody wide open. That's the reality of it.
The thing is, you can't put 2 guys on Cooper Kupp because he's a slot player. He doesn't really play outside. So if you put 2 guys on Cooper Kupp, that means you can't run 2 high safeties.
Right.
That means you got to drop somebody. You have to have somebody because the middle of the field will be wide open all day. It's like I said it from the beginning. It's whoever's running game works, because the run game establishes the run, and if you can run on that front 7, now that means that you have to put somebody down in the box, which is going to create one-on-one and disadvantages. And we go with the play action. That's going to be the key. And one thing about, like I said, I said it earlier about the Bengals, you have to move Jamar Chase around. He can't stay on the outside. If he stays on the outside, it's going to be a long day. If you try to go for the big ball, it's going to be a long day, because you're not going to have the time that you had against Kansas City.
Because that line is not tested against this type of defense.
What people don't realize, and I said earlier, the AFC is about the quarterbacks, because they got all the quarterbacks. They got the name quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The NFC is about defense.
Right.
It's we could throw stats. We could say whatever.
Wait a second. I got to debunk this. I'm sorry. I'm going to be Mythbusters here. I'm going to debunk this.
Okay.
The AFC is all about the quarterback. They get the names: Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady. I'll even throw Dak Prescott in there.
I know. And let's start over. And let's look. The Bucks was the number 1 rush defense. 49ers from week 15, 16, they was in the top 5, and they were like 1-2 and bringing pressure with just the front 4. Then you look at
one of the worst fucking Charles. I'm sorry, I love you. I'm hungover. It comes down to it, to be honest, but it comes down to it. One of the worst teams in the league, the Chicago Bears in the NFC, one of the worst NFC teams, still a great defense. Like they run deep.
Like we say Aaron Rodgers, and we say this, but defensively they shut Rodgers down. I mean, you say what for a half, you shut Tom Brady down. Right. But I just truly believe we can't. When we look at these teams, we can't just look at the Bengals beat the Chiefs. Their defense was they don't have the pressure. Like they don't have the pressure that what the Rams do.
Right. And Coach, can I ask you something?
Yes, sir.
So I looked at it. I was watching a lot of tape of just, real good defenses that they played against. And this is me. I'm going to be real about what my team is. My team is crap. My team is awful. But I was there when Joe Burrow threw 3 straight interceptions. What's up, Randy? Where's Randy? Hold on. You're late, sir. I'm not late. But it comes
Randy's
down
getting that problem still.
Oh yeah, but
he's still having he watched all that porn and it crashed his internet.
Oh man, but that's a throwback to when I was 12, Charles. You just unlocked a memory I didn't know I had. But it's something to where here's the thing. Khalil Mack.
Sorry, I unlocked your PTSD.
Quinn, Roquan Smith, Akeem Hicks, guys like that made Joe Burrow throw 3 straight interceptions off pressure alone. They have no secondary. Now here's the difference. You're playing the Rams, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd. And then you look at the secondary. You have Jalen Ramsey out there. If they're not only going to be able to apply pressure, but they have the secondary to be able to back it up, your 49ers are no joke. Whew. That's tough. But it comes down to it though, Charles and Coach. My question is, when you bring in that kind of secondary, is that something Joe Burrow's never even seen before? Is a two-way defense?
It's not that. It's one thing about the Rams.
I think he's seen something like that in Kansas City. But go ahead, Coach.
But one thing about the Rams don't really play a lot of man like what people think. They run a lot of zones because they pretty much
a lot of island work. That's what I call it.
Yeah, so they do that because they try to mix stuff up and make you all confuse you, especially Joe Burrow. But
Damien.
I said it from the beginning, say it again. Whoever runs the ball, Cincinnati has to pound the ball. You have to run the ball 20, 25 to 30 times today. If you don't run the ball 25, 30 times, guess what?
You know what? It's not even mixing. You got to get your third down back in there, get him a few handoffs, mixing 25 minimum.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe in a quarterback rollout here and there. I think 35, 40 times running the ball maximum.
Yeah.
Now if you're the coach, if you're Zach Taylor, which way you going? Are you going towards Vaughn or are you going towards Aaron?
Well, that's the problem. You don't know.
That's what I'm saying though. Is like you gotta find out.
Honestly,
you got to use those first 15 plays like every coach does and figure out what they're doing, and then you counter, and then they counter, and then you counter. So it's going to be a chess match today.
Right. Honestly, me personally, I'm pounding straight down. I'm going.
You hear that? You hear what just coach said? He's pounding it straight down. He's pile driving it, jackhammer.
Because if you look,
I've said nothing.
Mike, you look at who the Rams struggle with. 49ers.
Right.
What did the 49ers do?
They run the ball.
They ran it straight down your throat. We go, hey, this is what we're gonna do. And I think that's what you have to do. You can't be cute with them.
Right.
Like if you go back and you look at the Tampa Bay game, that first half, we tried to be cute. And then the second half, okay.
Run the ball for net and you start
we're gonna pound it, we're gonna run right at you and let's see what happens. I think that's what you have to do. If you want to be pretty, it's gonna be ugly.
Right.
So it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be like putting on your makeup all wrong and not waxing before you never mind.
But I'm gonna ride with the NFC, man. I'm gonna ride with the Texas boy.
All right. We got picks coming up later. We actually may even go over today because it's Super Bowl. Damn it!
So
Mike just got here. So no, you're late. You're way late.
When you
check
need to
go ahead and put down the last couple of old duels and just stick in it.
When you add up my times, it'll be a regular show. So
right. No, it's not a regular show though. Is this a regular weekend? No. No.
For everybody in Chicago, it's always a regular weekend.
Well, that's on you.
It is.
Nobody's twisting your arm to be a Bear fan.
I swear to God, they're not. I swear.
Well, then again, you live in Chicago, so somebody might have a gun to your head anyway. So what we're gonna get to our picks and scores. We're gonna do the scores too. But Coach is not liking that. Coach ain't liking that at all. But before we do, we have two things we're going to get to, and they're going to be fun things. Randy, if you're listening, go ahead and type in. I just need to make sure because I got to get your answers on this too. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 prop bets. Now, the good news about these prop bets is a lot of them are over and under, pick one or pick the other. You don't have to really guess. So it's pretty easy, sort of. But this is going to go ahead and go for bragging rights. Everybody likes bragging rights on this show, don't they? Right, no, Freddie?
Because I don't have them.
Yeah, you stuck on this show, picking.
Coach, I love you. I know I love you, man. All right. So I got 15 prop bets. And they go from as easy as the coin toss to picking the MVP. So here we go. What's the coin toss? Heads or tails?
It's not heads or tails.
You say tails?
It's not heads or tails.
What the hell is it then?
It's like the Rams. It's Rams and
Bengals.
Rams and Bengals.
Well,
It's heads or tails.
No, it's not.
Pick one. Randy says tails.
I say tails never fails. But if that's true,
you know what?
I'm
you
gonna.
know what? The call that won Super Bowl 51 was heads. I'm going heads.
I'm just gonna say though, if it is like Coach says, I'll say Bengals, Bengals and tails.
Bengals and tails.
Mm.
Yeah, they
Coach,
never. No, it's like if you look at it, it's like
it's a commemorative coin, Coach. I get it, but
So
the
how do
referee
you
is
know?
still going to say Bengals is heads, Rams is tails. It's going to be one of those. Which one?
Oh my God, heads.
All right, Jesus.
So if they don't say heads and tails, we lost, right?
No, it'll be a push.
That's why. Hey, Coach,
Okay.
pick no, just in case. Like I picked Bengals and tails.
Okay, so you think the Bengals are going to win the toss?
Yeah.
That was the next question. Coach?
Who's the home team? Like, are the Rams
The
considered
team
the
that's
home?
not home.
Technically,
Yeah,
LA.
are they-
Cincinnati.
But
So
are they-
the Rams are going to choose the coin.
Okay, that's what I'm just asking because even though it's at home, are the Rams still considered home?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I made that joke in the beginning of the show, Coach.
I know. Okay, hey, man.
Cincinnati's traveling to LA, but they're the home team.
Oh, since he's the home team, so the Rams making the pick. So I'm gonna go Bengals.
Yes. Randy says Bengals. Mike says Bengals. I say LA.
Oh, here we go.
Already going lone wolf. Okay. Hang on a second. This next one here is a little bit. I have to do one last research. Hold on.
Coach.
Hold on. I need to know. Does anybody know who is doing the national anthem? No, Mickey Guyton. Whoever the hell that person is. Oh, hello. You're pretty. Anyway, Mickey Guyton, actually known as Candace Guyton, is going to be singing the national anthem. She is a country artist, if that helps out any. She does contemporary country and a little R&B. She lives in Nashville with Capitol Records. We need to know, is the national anthem going to be over or under 98 seconds?
Over.
98 seconds.
A minute and 38 seconds.
Over.
She's a country singer. It's gonna be way over.
Way over, okay.
I'll give it.
Randy's saying over. We're all saying over. Okay. Now, this one's a three-part question. Coach's challenge. Who's going to be the first? LA, Cincinnati, or none?
None.
Cincy.
Cincinnati says, say it's Cincinnati coach. Mike says none. Randy says yeehaw. No, she said Rams.
All right.
Who's calling the first timeout?
Sean.
LA.
Sean, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Sean,
he blows through.
Sean breeds tight.
Rams.
Sean's awful. I love Sean.
Randy, you still saying Rams on this one too? Yep, he says Rams. Okay. We all said Rams. Okay. This next one is you have to choose. How does the first drive end? Touchdown, field goal, punt, or turnover?
Interception.
Punt.
It would be turnover.
What'd you say, Coach?
Punt.
Punt?
Did anybody? I don't think no one ever scored on the first drive.
I don't remember.
The Bears scored on the opening kickoff once.
Oh, that's right. They did.
Then nothing else. That's not really the opening drive, though.
That's the opening drive.
I mean, not for the offense,
Okay.
though. That was Devin Hester doing that.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. You're right. Okay, we're all different. I said field goal. Coach says punt. Mike says turnover. Randy says touchdown.
No, Randy says punt.
Where? Oh,
What's
I'm
his
sorry.
name? John
Oh,
said
I said
touchdown.
John. I'm sorry. Never mind. Punt. Thank you. Everybody else is answering. John, you don't count.
John can count. Don't do John like that. John, he's been here
John's
from.
well. First off, number one, John's my boy.
I
He's
don't
from
know.
my
He's
show.
been since the beginning. He's good.
John who? Jonathan
He's
Mathis?
been
No.
he's been with us from the beginning. He also has been the one that petitioned me to come back.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Okay,
There's my boy.
this next one is a tricky one. Now, here are your options: Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Sean Forbes, Warren Snipe. Who is the first one out the door?
Oh, Mary J.
Snoop.
You talking about the first one to come out?
The first one to lead the act.
Ooh, God
No.
dang.
You still saying Mary J?
I'm gonna go Snoop because
Snoop.
You doing Snoop? Mike, you said Snoop?
I was, but now I'm gonna rock with Kendrick because I feel like all the old heads are gonna come out together.
Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah, Kendrick's more my time.
I'm gonna say Snoop because Snoop is like generational. Everybody.
Ooh,
Ah,
Randy's
bro.
going Snipe.
Who is Snipe?
Warren Snipe.
Who is that?
I heard.
He also goes
Tupac's
by the name of
hologram.
Wawa.
Charles, did you see what I sent you? Tupac's hologram is gonna make an appearance.
If they do that, it's going to be so sad. Are you really kidding me?
That's gonna be awesome.
John said Snoop coming out stoned as an MF.
Oh God.
Well, no shit.
Oh God.
Oh, okay. And to piggyback off John's comment, here's the next prop bet. Will Snoop be smoking on stage?
No.
No. NFL, you know NFL don't play no games.
Right. And from what I
Oh, well,
heard,
what about Tittygate?
Now they changed
right,
it.
but I think the difference is right now, Dre made it clear, and so did Snoop. They want to show that they're more than just rappers. They want to show that you can have these kind of guys, in Super Bowl appearances. They said they want to put on a real show. They want to be professional. So I don't think they would do that.
Randy says you're full of shit, and he says yes, he will be smoking on stage. Well, everybody else says no. I say no. Mike says no.
I think you'll see a lot of smoke. I don't think you'll see him physically do it.
Okay.
I think this.
Well,
is one
hold
of
on
those
a second. Okay, hold on a second. Because it's televised, and the people in the back, they're going to be editing stuff out.
I don't think we'll see it.
If we see smoke, do we count that as yes? Even though we can't physically see it, and they're cutting it out.
No, they're gonna have.
You can't.
They're not. Listen, Randy. They're not gonna do anything like smoking or nothing on there. Because the simple fact of the matter is because that was the whole argument of having African American performers. Right. So they're gonna make sure. So now that we're here, they're gonna try to put on a show.
And Dre's taking that very seriously right now.
Like I think that's one of the biggest things.
Damien said, wait, NFL still allowing Snoop to perform after he got arrested? Oh, yeah. They still had Ray Lewis play. All right.
And
let's
Aaron.
move on. Yeah. All right, let's move on. This next stuff is all about the game. Here we go.
Oh, finally. I feel like we're playing Jeopardy again, Charles.
You shut up. Total players. These are all over-unders, by the way. Total players with at least one rushing attempt. Over or under 7.5.
Wait, hold on. Say it again.
Under.
The total number of players for both teams with at least one rushing attempt. Over or under 7.5.
Over.
I say over.
That's 7 players with a rushing attempt?
No, one over. He says
No. Listen, all the players that are playing,
Oh,
how many players are going to have a rushing attempt? More or less than 7.5?
yeah, less.
wait, hold on. So combined seven people running.
Yeah.
Yes.
Running the
That
ball?
means Cam Akers, Sony Michelle,
Yeah.
Daryl Henderson, Joe Burrow, all the players combined to have one rushing have at least one
You know
rushing
what?
attempt.
I'll say over then because I forgot about Henderson and Michelle.
1, 2.
You think Stafford might get one? Burrow might get one.
Yeah, that's 4.
And that doesn't include quarterback sneaks.
Then you got Mixon and Boyd.
Yeah. I say under 7.5. That's 8 people.
Under.
Yeah, that's 8 people got to run the ball.
I don't know. T and Jamar.
So you say under.
Wait.
When you say under, that means 7 players or less are going to run the ball.
Let me ask you this.
Oh yeah, I'll do under. I'll bank on under.
You can't phone a friend, dude. You can't phone a friend.
So do a screen count as a rushing because it's behind the line of scrimmage?
No. A screen is still a pass.
But if it's behind the line of scrimmage, it's considered.
It doesn't matter. It's a pass. The quarterback is throwing it forward.
Under because that's 8 people.
Okay, under. All right. So Coach and Randy say under. Me and Mike say over.
I said under.
Oh, you said under.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was over, but then that's 8 people. I can't name.
I'm still sticking with my guns on over.
7 I can get down with. 8 I can't name an 8. It would have to be like Jamar or T.
You still got to name. You still have to name one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like regardless, you still to be that 8.
Right.
Anybody can run the ball, be either jet sweep or a toss or a fake play, quarterback sneak, something of that nature. It still counts as a rushing attempt. All right. So everybody's under except me. I'm the only one going over. Total kickoffs. Over or under 10.5. That includes opening and halftime kickoffs. So are there at least 9 other kickoffs that are going to happen after a field goal or a touchdown?
No, under.
How many you said? 10?
10.5. So if you're going over, that means there has to be 11 kickoffs.
I got there being 10 exactly, so no.
I'm gonna go under.
Randy goes under 2. I'm going over. Mike?
Under.
So everybody going under. Down under. Coach disappeared. I guess he was getting nude. All right. Total pass attempts from both quarterbacks. Total pass attempts. Over or under 76.5.
That's like what, 33 each?
That would be 38 apiece.
No, they ain't 33, brother. That's Chicago.
I was close.
That's the Chicago math coming out.
It was close though. That gives us credit, but
no, not giving you credit. That's math. That's just basic math.
Nah, they'll pass me if I get credit. But yeah.
You said over 76?
Over 76.5. So if you go over 77, under 76 and under.
I'm gonna say over.
Oh no, under.
Coach says under. Mike says over. Randy says.
So because that means somebody has to throw the ball at least 40 times a game in this game.
Yeah.
I think Stafford's the one to throw it 40. I think Burrow does it.
Okay. Total first downs. First downs for each team combined. Over or under 40.5.
40?
40.5.
Under.
Under. Way down under.
You scored 40 and a half, 40 and a half over. That's a high scoring game.
No, that means it's a ball controlled game. Because high scoring game, you usually don't get more than one or two first downs. You're usually throwing that baby deep. Randy says under as well. We're all going under. All right. This one's pretty easy. Total number of players to throw a ball, over or under 2.5. Is there anybody besides the quarterback throwing the ball?
Over.
Ooh,
Over.
Coach thinks some. I'm saying under.
I see
Randy's pick.
Odell chucking one across the field.
Hey, and that would do it right there. Oh shoot! Unless it's a blowout and they bring the backup in.
They ain't gonna do that.
Randy says under though.
Or someone gets hurt.
Yeah, it's true. All right, now we're coming down to the actual score of the game, sort of. Will this be a margin of victory of over or under 8.5?
Over.
Under.
Coach says over. Mike says under. I say under. Randy says, without question, over. He thinks it's going to be a blowout anyway. All right. All right, gentlemen. Last question. Who's walking away as MVP?
I got it right here. I gotta remember his name. Jesse Bates. Oh, are we doing both sides, Bengals and Rams, or no?
Just who's walking away as MVP?
Jesse Bates.
Randy says Stafford.
Stafford, that Texas boy. Cup have to have it's gonna be a quarterback, so I'm gonna say Stafford, unless Aaron Donald has like 20 sacks.
Shit, you got Von Miller there too, though. So
yeah, Von Miller could do it again. You don't know that.
Won before.
But you're saying Stafford. Mike, what do you think? What was your stupid pick again?
Jesse Bates.
Jesse Bates.
Who is that?
Who the hell is he?
Safety on the Bengals. Big trust, my brother. Big trust.
I think you need to start getting like a few cups of coffee in before you get into the show, so you can get over this hangover.
You would think, right? You would think.
Yeah. All right. So, review time on my trusty little paper here. Coin toss. Me and Coach say heads. Mike and Randy say tails. Everybody except me says Cincinnati's winning the toss. Everybody thinks the national anthem is going more than a minute, 38 seconds. The first coach's challenge, me and Coach say Cincinnati. Mike says nobody's challenging. Randy says LA. The first timeout will be used by LA, according to everybody. The first drive will end in a field goal by me, punt by Randy and Coach, and a turnover that Mike says. The first out in the halftime show, I'm saying Dr. Dre. Coach saying Snoop. Mike is saying Kendrick, and Randy's saying Snipe or Wawa. That's his nickname. Snoop smoking on stage. Everybody says no except Randy. Total players to rush over 7. The rush has a rushing attempt more over or under than 7.5. Excuse me. Everybody says under except me. Total kickoffs over or under 10.5. Everybody says under except me. Total pass attempts over or under 76.5. Me and Mike are over. Coach and Randy under. Total first downs more or less than 40.5. Everybody's under. Total players to throw for a pass. Mike and Coach say over. Me and Randy say it's only the quarterbacks. Winning margin, more or less than 8.5. I say under, so does Mike. Coach and Randy say over. Stafford is the MVP according to Coach and Randy. I say Joe Burrow. Mike says Jesse James or Bates, whatever the hell his name is. All right.
I was about to say Jesse James on the Bears, my brother. He don't play.
Jesse Bates gonna have a phenomenal game.
All right.
Well,
This next game is going to have an explanation. First off, does everybody here know how to play Super Bowl squares? Coach?
You're talking about the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we don't have a square chart, what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and pick numbers, one set of numbers for each team. So, for instance, just like how you would pick a square, it would fall into the dice of the Rams with a number and the Cincinnati Bengals with a number. You need to choose one number for each team. This will go ahead and count as the following: 25 points for the score ending in your numbers if you get it right after the first quarter. 50 points for halftime. 25 points for the third quarter. 100 for the final score. So, as you can tell, it's very important to go ahead and pick the number correct for the final score.
Throwing too much math at a brother, Charles. Throwing too much math at a brother.
Hey, start over.
If you know how to play squares, this is already knowledge.
If knowing how to play squares is they give me my number and they let me know if I won, then I know how to play squares.
You don't know how to play squares.
So again, we don't have enough people to go ahead and buy 100 squares.
Are we going forward and backwards?
We need 100 people to buy squares. But anyway, so I'll start it off first, okay? For the Rams, I'm picking the number 4. And for the Bengals, I'm picking 0. Which means if the game ends 14-10, I win.
Hold on, what quarter are we doing?
If the game ends 34-30, I win. Because 4 and 0 are the last numbers of the score.
So stop. Oh, we just picking one. I thought we was doing. Oh, we just picking one for the entire game, correct?
One number. So that's my set of numbers. Rams with 4, Cincinnati 0, which means the score that I think is going to happen, no matter what happens, it's going to be ending in 4 for the Rams and ending in 0 for the Bengals, which means it could be 20-14 in favor of Cincinnati. I win. Randy says 8 and 9. Rams 8, Bengals 9. Which means he's thinking field goals or something odd with 2-point conversion.
Hey, so can I use those numbers? All right.
Once the numbers are picked, you can't duplicate them.
Okay.
It's not fair. You have to pick something else.
So go back to your numbers. What was yours again?
Rams 4, Cincy 0. So right now, for the Rams number, 4 and 8 is taken. Cincinnati 0 and 9 is taken. So go ahead and you guys too.
That's how I know I'm thinking. When you put your hoodie on, I'm thinking.
Let's go ahead and take some numbers here real quick that people are leaving. John says NFC 7, AFC 3. That means Rams with the 7 and the Cincinnati would be 3.
Hey, give me Bengals 4.
Bengals 4.
Rams 0.
4-0. So Rams 0, Bengals 4. Okay. Mike, when you're ready, after you get over your hangover.
Rams 4.
What's that?
You heard?
I already have 4.
They already have 4. That's what sucks. I got to see the numbers. I'm trying to say again.
All right. What did John say? Pull up John's comment.
John's comment said 7-3, which is still open.
All right. Give me 7 Rams, 3 Bengals. I don't know what the hell that means, but I trust John and his intuition. And especially based off that profile, he looks like a fine gentleman. So I trust his betting skill.
All right, John, so let's go over. So Super Bowl square numbers. That's best I could come up with.
Mike and John.
I picked Rams 4, Cincinnati 0.
Right.
Randy says 8 Rams, 9 for Cincy. Coach 0 for the Rams, 4 for Cincy. Mike 7-3, Rams and
Mike
Cincy.
and John, sir. Mike and John. Come on now.
So, again, like for instance, if Coach, the first quarter ends 14-10, Cincinnati, you get 25 points. If it stays the same at halftime, you get another 50 points. If the score changes to 17-13 in the third quarter, Mike gets 25 points. And if it stays the same, he gets another 100, which makes it 125. Does everybody get it?
Hey, on this, I'm gonna be like Mike, man. Just let me know if I win.
Carlos let you know if you win.
Hey, let me know. Hey,
I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Hey, because I gotta look at even when I have like the board, I'll be looking at it. Okay, I need these numbers. Come on. These numbers to hit.
Write it down. That's what I have. It's easy for me to understand that. All right, so
I love you, Charles, but holy shit.
No, you don't. Making you think. All right, gentlemen, it's time. It's time to give your picks, and it's time to pick your scores. Should be the easiest one of the day. We've already gone through all the prop bets. We've gone through our Super Bowl square numbers. It is time to give us who you think is going to win and the score it's going to have. Right now, we have one final score here showing Bengals 24-21. That's from Yuki. Damian says Rams 20, Bengals 14. I think Randy wants to add about 30 points to the Rams score on Damian's and keep the Bengals the same, I think. But we need to go over the score and the winner of Super Bowl 56. Who is getting confetti and how many points are showing up on the scoreboard for NBC?
I'm going to say Rams 34, Bengals 13.
13?
13.
Mike says 34-13 Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, 38-19 Rams. Gotta make this quick. My pen's running out of ink.
I don't think it matters how fast you do it. I think it's just going to run out. But that's
I think it is, yeah. Gotta get this last bit of ink out of it. I already told you I'm picking the Bengals to win. It is going to be, well, I'm going to use my score here, 24-20 Bengals. Excuse me, no. Hold on. I got to pick my numbers here because that's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with Cincinnati winning.
Yeah, that one
40
hurt.
to 34. 40 to 34.
No, it ain't gonna be that high. I got Rams winning 27.
24, Coach. 24.
Nah, because I had them pick the win over. I had the Rams winning by more than 8.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit what me and John said. I don't even know what was going on.
27-17.
27-17. So this looks oddly familiar, gentlemen. I am the only one to pick a team. Everybody else has gone against me. How did that work out last time? Anyway, once again, going in. Mike has the Rams winning 34-13. Coach has the Rams winning 27-17. Randy has the Rams winning 38-19. I have the Bengals winning 40-34. Daniel on the Rams, in the comments there has 28-27 Bengals.
Strong body, sharp mind.
John, 27-23 Rams. I believe, and we already mentioned Damian, 20-14 Rams. And Yuki, 24-21 Bengals. Really, it's really kind of split, to be honest with you. Damian says Rams 40, 37 over the Bengals. That's a high-scoring game. Listen, this all has the opportunity to be a real high-scoring game. It could very well be no punts. Maybe that's should have been one of the prop bets. How many punts? It's a really good possibility that this could be a really high-scoring game. It's also a real possibility it can be a blowout because there is a lot of experience on the Rams side, coach especially, Von Miller winning it and being an MVP. So
don't forget about Jesse Bates.
Yeah. Don't forget about that guy who's not going to win the MVP.
Yeah. All right,
by the way, that guy's blocked, whoever the hell that was.
All right, Charles.
So, any final words for the final week of the NFL season? Mike, since you are late, I'll let you go first.
Thank you, sir. That's a weird way to do it, but it's been a great season all around. Shout out Justin Fields. Thank you for giving me something to be excited about. And it's not saying much, but it's something. Josh Allen, you are an elite quarterback. You have proven that. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, proven the world that everybody's wrong about not taking Penei Sewell. It's amazing, and it's been great. And I was rocking with you from the start. Just remember that. And Matthew Stafford, as I said, when I first joined Touchdown Crew, my biggest goal for this year was to see Matthew Stafford win a championship. Even though I did not pick the Rams to go to the Super Bowl, I am rocking with you. I'm rocking the UCLA today for you and for you only. And this is a Russell Westbrook jersey, so people in the comments, please don't kill me. It's not that deep. But it comes down to it to where, Stafford, it's been a long career. He deserves this. And Joe Burrow proving the doubters wrong, going through Allen, Patrick, and all these other guys that he had to get through. It's well-deserved, I feel like, for whoever wins it.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. Listen, it's been a pleasure working with you this season, and hopefully we'll go ahead and ramp up the USFL. We'll start talking about that in a few weeks. Go ahead and get that all taken care of. And, of course, it's a coach's carousel coming up, so we'll be talking about that as well. Coach, you're on the block, or you're on the clock, I should say. Go ahead. Any last words?
Oh, man, it's been a great year. I mean, by far, this was the best playoffs that I've seen in years. I mean, majority of all the games were close, were field goals or overtimes. So I think they're going to finish the NFL right. Another close game, but I have the Rams picking it. You see a lot of the greats retiring. You saw Brady retire. I mean, Big Ben, you say what you want to say about him. He's retiring. So it's going to be very, very a great offseason because now it's you got a lot of questions more so because, and I say that because if you really go back and you look, usually you have your 3 or 4 teams to win the Super Bowl. You only had the Rams that a lot of people picked to go to the Super Bowl. No one had Cincinnati. So you want to see how they respond next year and the year after that. But again, TDC, I enjoy it. Hey, we'll be back Sunday. Let's keep it moving.
Absolutely. Randy had something that I'm calling every bandwagon fans after whichever team wins today. Y'all been rocking a different team all year. Keep the same energy. If y'all post like this, your team after whoever wins, just know it's trash. I think that had something to do with Go Cowboys from John.
Oh, there you go, John.
John had to go ahead and throw that in there. Yeah. You will definitely see new shirts being worn. Yeah.
Oh, Joe, if Cincy wins,
Jamar Chase jerseys will be everywhere.
And Joe,
they should already be everywhere. He's the freaking offensive rookie of the year. He's the offensive rookie of the year. They should already be everywhere. I'm just saying.
By the way, Charles, really quick, I just want to say shout out to Coach, man. I'm proud of him, bro. I'm really proud of him. Everything he went through this year, his ups and down battles with Josh Allen and how he felt about Josh Allen from the beginning of the year to now. I'm so happy you finally come along, Coach. We're happy to have you on the train. And it's truly just an honor being able to talk football with you because it did hurt my soul that you weren't rocking on that train. So I'm happy you're here now, Coach. I'm very happy you're here now.
Oh, and I'm happy that you with me, Mike, with the Patriots, that you realize that Bill is not as good without Tom Brady, and that defense is very suspect at which he's great at. So I'm glad that we're both on the same train together.
Who retired? Who retired?
I'm just glad that we're on that together.
Who retired first?
Huh? Who has a Super Bowl ring without each other?
Who retired first because he couldn't do it anymore?
Oh, who has a Super Bowl ring?
Just be patient, my friend. Just be patient, my friend.
Can you guys both go ahead and get a room and just figure it out together, please?
Hey, who got a record broken in?
Listen, you sound like a bad married couple. You guys just need to go ahead and live together and just film it. Honest to God. I don't care. I want to say I want to say it's been an honor being on the Touchdown Crew. It was my pleasure to work with all you guys, and including Randy, who cannot be here to speak on his own behalf. But Coach Mike, it's been a pleasure for at least half the season. You know. Anyway,
I'm on sabbatical.
Yeah, on a sabbatical. Yeah, I was over there doing my European road trip. I'm not mentioning that, Damien. We're past that. Okay, we're past that. But yeah, it's a pleasure. And listen, it's not over. NFL season, and not like baseball where it goes under into a lockout. It's not like hockey where barely anybody talks about it anyway. So it's like when the off season, it doesn't happen. Basketball, I think it's probably the closest thing to it. So NFL season is still going to continue. We're going to talk coaches. We're going to talk moves, free agency, draft. Even though we're not going to, you guys are probably going to have more knowledge than I will in regards to the prospects that are coming out, but we'll still dive into it. We'll still dive into all the updates that are coming out. Who's retiring? Who's coming out of retirement? Who's making moves? What teams do we think is going to be shot up, or the power rankings for the 2022 season? And then, of course, in April, we will go ahead and talk spring football with the USFL. 8 teams, all playing in Tennessee because of the bubble. But 8 teams coming back for the USFL. We're going to talk with them. You know, we're going to see some names, just like we saw with the XFL. Some names that we thought they were over and done with or washed up, and they're coming in to play some more football to show they still got something left.
Johnny football.
And maybe even some surprises. Maybe even some surprises, too. We'll talk it out. But Touchdown Crew continues. Next week, review the game, review all this, and talk about what's next. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Everybody, enjoy the Super Bowl, even though nobody except anybody outside of Ohio cares. Enjoy it. We will talk commercials. Keep a close eye on the commercials, which ones you think are the best, funniest. And we will see you next week on the Touchdown Crew. Take care, everybody.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're out in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.